AWS can go ahead and create a topic today, and any other AWS user could go ahead and update or delete that topic, the topic that is on. So if there are two users, user A goes and creates a topic, user B could go ahead and delete or rename or modify any attributes of those topics, which is pretty not I mean, looking at the AWS or SNS documentation on AWS, it usually says that topics belong to an owner who creates it, which is exactly not the behavior in case of Ceph, because it clearly allows, there is no check at first place to even verify that user who created this topic has the rights to go and delete it. Like, so I was hoping, or I was expecting, is it reasonable enough to associate a user to a given topic so that once a user creates, any other user cannot go ahead and update or delete the topic, basically. That
Yuval is also having technical difficulties. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get him in the room. Matt, did you miss everything that Cornell said too?
No, I just rejoined because my Google Meet had a messed up layout.
Okay.
So I heard all that, but I don't think we would like you all here.
He's trying, or he was trying. Strange.
Yeah, I kind of joined after vacation, so it seems like my mic was kind of screwed up. You all maybe would be in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He just said a minute ago that he was trying to join and something doesn't work for him. Does anyone else have any other topics in the meantime?
Again, regarding S3 notifications, for example, when we create a topic, it's not in a multi-site environment. It's not replicated to secondary. Is it by design or?
So Ozan, that's a bug, and we already have a tracker for it. I just got to know yesterday. So it's a bug, and it's kind of open for anybody to pick up, and probably we might pick this up. So I was going to follow up on that as well.
Okay, that's been discussed. Okay, good.
Yep.
Sorry. Oh, there he is. Well, we see you, Yuval. That's good.
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
now
I can hear you well. Yep.
Okay, sorry, I had to restart the laptop to be able to join. Sorry.
So you all, yep. Do you want me to repeat this, or probably you already have this discussion again? So all I was hoping that we could tie up a topic to an AWS user, so that any other any other user cannot go ahead and tamper or modify the topic that has been created by the other user, basically.
Okay, but what about using this topic with notifications?
So that's the second part of it, discussion, right? So as you were saying, I was again reading through the AWS notification. So first, at least we cover this topic. The second part can then follow up, I thought, but probably if you've brought it up, your concern was there could be a scenario where other users' buckets want to subscribe to the topic that is created by some other user, right? That's what your concern was?
I mean, this is how it currently works, and currently there's no restriction. So, okay, sorry. Regarding the first request, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That whoever created the topic is the only person that can manage the topic. I guess this makes sense.
Well, there might want to be some override there. We haven't, but sure.
Yeah, so I think there could be an override from Redis Gateway admin. So
Sure.
Redis Gateway admin could override.
The
Other than
gateway
that-
admin, yeah, gateway admin today only allows you to remove a topic. So if you look at
Right.
the provide, it just says topic get, topic list, or topic RM, which is basically remove. So yeah, that still holds true. As an admin, you can go ahead and delete the topic, but there's
Mhm.
no which says modify, because there is no basically modify API at all today. It's the same create API, the create topic
Right.
API, which is used even to update. So which is not supported by gateway admin today.
Right. Yeah. So currently, the Redis Gateway admin cannot create topics; can just remove and list them and get them.
Right.
I think that this is valid. I mean, we may need to think about upgrade scenarios. So, for example, in existing deployment, you can have topics that are created by one user, and the current behavior is that any user can, let's say, get them or
Right.
delete them. And if we break this would break backward compatibility. So we need to think about a way of doing that without creating issues for existing deployments.
That would be challenging for sure. Like the problem is, this whole idea was based on a recent PR that I submitted, where originally we were not even storing the user information in the topic. So
Right.
we will never, for those backward compatibility scenarios, we will not have an idea who owns or which user created the topic at this point in time. So
Yeah, so we can say that
if
that
it's
would be
anonymous,
if this is like an anonymous, so we can decide that from now on we cannot create anonymous topics.
Correct.
And if there is an anonymous topic that is created, then anyone can access it or delete it or do whatever they want with it.
makes sense, reasonable.
So
Sorry. So what I had a follow up to this is, so this also entails is the AWS CLI that does the get topics and list topics, that should also now only give you topics that you own rather than giving you the topics that are owned by somebody else.
Right. And
Right.
well, it can probably also give you maybe all the anonymous topics.
And the anonymous, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anonymous and the topics you own. Makes sense. So
Yes.
that clears my first part. Now coming to the second part, right? So again, what I was trying to extend this to was since the owner who has created the topic, he or she would then create those buckets and associate those buckets to the topic created by himself or herself, right? Which you are trying to argue is there could be a scenario where a user B could create a bucket but wants to hook up or subscribe to the notifications created by user A, or hook up, right, to the topics created by user A.
Okay, so there's a big difference. Notifications are associated with a bucket. So whenever you create a notification on a bucket or get them or do whatever you want with them, you have to have permissions on this bucket. Either you're the owner or you could have gotten permissions from the owner, whatever. So when it comes to notifications are tightly coupled with buckets. So they go through the same process of authentication as the bucket. So there's no issue with notifications. With topic, this is something else. Topic really describes the endpoint. And so, well, kind of topic describes two things. One thing that it describes is the endpoint. And the endpoint, I mean, there's only one of two. I don't know, the entry points to the Kafka cluster or whatever. Right. But it can also describe a topic in Kafka. And here you can think about use cases where the topic is specific to a bucket or use cases where the topic is not specific to a bucket. It's really, there's a whole range of use cases there. This is why currently there's no association between the topics and the buckets. Now, I'm not sure what would be the right kind of way to do that.
But TLDR, from what I understand, is you're saying as long as any user who has an access to that bucket would be able to associate any topics that are created on that, or hook up to any topics on that bucket, right? Is what you're suggesting or trying to say?
Yeah. So any user that has permissions, either full permissions or permissions to create notification, but there are even special permissions for that. So any user that has like full permission or notification permissions on the bucket can associate a topic to the bucket and create a notification. But they can use a topic from anyone.
That's what I'm trying to debate here. They should basically try to only hook up to only topics that are created by them.
But
I'm not sure that's reasonable.
but
I sense we would get here. It feels to me like this is a place for policy of some kind, because the notion of who should be able to access what topics is sort of a general question, doesn't seem to be controlled. I don't think it's fair to assume that the user has to own them all, and in an enterprise environment, it would be sensible that there would be certain topics that are available or available to certain users or certain et cetera, and others that are not.
Yeah, I mean, think about the use case where the topic is really some kind of a error log or something. This won't be created by the application. This will be created by the admin, right? So, I mean, we don't want each and every application to create this topic. They won't even know that this topic is needed or is being used, right? So,
well, right now they could see it, but you're proposing in the future they might not be able to see them either. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a question, also, right?
Right. I mean,
I can definitely see the opposite case where you don't want where a certain channel is essentially privileged. We don't want people just spamming it because they know it's there or they found it.
Right. Or I mean, what I'm saying is that there could be cases where the application creates the topics, but there could be cases where it's not the application that creates the topic. So I would like to keep the support for both options and not restrict the system so that topics are owned by the application as well.
But just to debate that, right, as what Matt said, right, like you possibly could spam somebody else's topic. You just hook up your or create a bucket and hook it up to somebody else's topic, and that person might not even know, and then he or she would basically try to receive notifications and would kind of wonder, like if you're thinking from an AWS world, right, like a user, I've created a topic, I've given permission to a user B, and then he goes and has access to one of the buckets that I created, but that user B is now subscribing to the topic created by me, and I was like, "Hey, why am I receiving these messages on my topic, the topic that I own, right?" Like I'm considering that as an use case.
Yes, you're right. So you're saying you create a topic for your application needs. Why would somebody else use it?
Correct.
Like, yeah, and this could be a surprise because you subscribe to the topic on the other end, like on the Kafka end, and then all of a sudden you're getting messages from a bucket that you have no idea what it is. So
yep, exactly. So that's the use case that I was trying to propose here.
So I think what Matt proposed is using policies. I need to look up at AWS and see if there's something like topic policies that would say whether this topic is for anyone to use or this topic is restricted only to its owner.
There is a AWS SNS topic policy.
Okay.
I haven't drilled through it, but it sounds like, yeah, this is exactly what I would expect.
Then this looks like the right solution, I think. So that when you create a topic, you can say, like, I'm an admin, and this topic could be used by anyone because.
Yeah. Does create topic has? I mean, as far as I can remember, create topic does not have any param. Probably will have to look into create topic because create topic just takes in parameters today, right? Like, and we kind of verify only whether you have the endpoint has been passed or no. So the expectation would be to have some kind of policy that is passed on along with create topic would be the expectation, I believe.
I'm gonna check the API and see if they have something like that. We're just gonna follow whatever they have.
Sure.
Because then it's gonna be supported in all the SDKs and everything. So
right.
Yeah, we would not like to invent something because whenever we do that, then we have problems with the SDK.
Compatibilities, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll check and see if the SDK support that, then like maybe it's a different command. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look that up and give a proposal. I think that would kind of satisfy all the needs.
Makes sense. Yep, and I'm hoping there should be a default policy as well. Worst case, people don't send in like any policies today. Like, so would the worst case, I mean, what the backward compatibility for this would be is the topics that are created right now would be assumed that they are accessible to everybody. Is that the expectation?
Yeah, again, for backward compatibility, but I guess from now on, whenever you define some policy, then we just follow the policy.
Makes sense, yeah. Okay, this is purely again assuming that SDKs do support sending in policies as a part of create topic, hopefully.
I mean, if this is part of the AWS API, then the SDKs usually implement all of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I'm going to check that and see exactly.
Okay, cool. So worst case, if we don't find anything, then we come back to the same point where what do we
Yes.
need to do?
Yes. So I guess would be great if you can put a tracker, and then we can continue
Sure.
discussion over there and kind of accumulate all the information and everything in the tracker.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I'll also update at least the first part where it seems reasonable to associate an user to a topic, basically.
Oh yeah. This is more straightforward. I mean, except the backward compatibility issues, like you created the topic, you can delete it and so on. This makes sense.
Cool. And the second part was, as I discussed yesterday with you, is the multi-site specific notifications, which is not replicated there. And you pointed me to the
Right.
tracker, probably. Yep. So that,
Yeah.
if you could assign it to us, probably we'll start. I mean, we need that, and probably we could work on it.
Yeah, this is out there for like 2 years, so
Wow.
it'd be
Yeah.
great. It'd be great if this would be implemented. The kind of the gotcha or the kind of challenge there is that currently we store all this kind of topic configuration, everything. We store that in system objects,
Right.
and system objects are currently not being synced in multi-site.
Okay.
So it's a matter of figuring out how to sync system objects.
Mm-hmm. Right. But on that note, at least the bucket notifications, can the bucket notifications then become a bucket attribute this way? Because we always sync the bucket attributes, the LCs and the other things are synced as a part of attributes. So if we add notification as an attribute to the bucket, so this way we could just plumb in the same code that is used for LC to sync on the other side.
Yeah, that could be, but that won't figure. I mean,
I'm not sure it's required to sync all of the system objects. I mean, it might be the case that the variation. I mean, my interpretation of what Cornell is saying seems like it might be true, that you could have a custom metadata sync handler that does this regardless of where they're being stored.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what, like, there's a need for kind of thinking and design, especially with the topics. I think we may be able to piggyback the notification configuration, as you said, into the bucket attributes. We'll have to store them like both where they are currently now, again for backward compatibility, and kind of maybe add them as well as into the bucket attributes just for the syncing.
They're not, I mean, wait a minute, I'm confused. Topics aren't
No.
one-to-one with buckets, right?
No. This is, I mean, the two things that we need.
Two things, yeah.
We need to sync the notification
Topics,
configuration. Yeah.
And the topics that are
Right.
created.
It seems like topics would need a metadata sync handler.
Yes.
Right.
That would need a separate.
They're kind of involved to type, but they're not very complicated to understand.
Yeah, they would need a separate mechanism. With the buckets, we might be able to piggyback that into the existing mechanisms, but with the topics, for sure, we need a separate syncing mechanism.
Yep, a separate metadata handler, basically. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what I was hoping. I mean, looking at the code, that's what I was thinking, and part of bringing this up. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So you might get back on that tracker, right? You will for the first part, the bucket part, like or associating the bucket to the topic, right? Once we get information on the SDK, on the process.
Yes. Now I don't think we have a tracker for that. So if you can
I'll
open the tracker,
and I'll bring you the tracker. Yep. Sure.
Okay, that'd be awesome. I'll put the information there.
All right. Perfect. So that's pretty much from me, at least on the notification front. Yep.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Yep.
Sounds like we're all set here. Any other topics to bring up? Great. I will see everybody next week then.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys.